Good morning, everybody. Jumping in today for the regular Tuesday chats as normal, just a little later than usual because I've had some stuff happening this morning where I was actually presenting at a networking event. So it was lovely to be able to talk this morning at the Toowoomba Entrepreneurs Breakfast and share my story of getting into business and what sort of brought me to this point here. And so instead of the 9 o'clock start, as usual, we're doing 11. So hi. Today, though, I'm joined by AliJayneCoach, who, excuse me, good little tickle in the throat there. So Ali is another Toowoomba person. I don't think we've actually met in person yet. I've seen you online a lot. But as we're chatting today, so if anyone who jumps in or if you're already in here, I've got my Facebook open on my phone, so you can see the live thing there. I'm going to share to a couple of places as Ali introduces herself, and then I'm going to open it up so I can actually see the chat on my personal page where this is being streamed to right now. If you've got any questions for Ali, please pop them into the chat there so that I can then pass them on and ask the questions. If we don't get to your questions during the chat today, Ali and or I will be back in to check in and share information and answer any questions anyway. So pop them in there and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. But Ali, I'm actually thinking that we might have met through a training program, but I'm not sure how we actually connected initially. I don't know. Anyway, that's okay. I think there's something within a community thing. I don't know how we actually first sort of came across each other, but do you want to introduce yourself to the people who are watching and let everybody know who you are and what you do?
Sure, absolutely. So can I just first thank you for having me on? It's been, it feels like a long time coming, and I've been wanting to actually talk to you face to face for a long time. So it's great to be here. As you're saying, Terry, my name's Ali. I am originally from Melbourne, but moved up here in mid-2006. So I've been here for a little while. And essentially, I am, well, in really simple terms, I'm a counsellor. I have education and training in psychology and a lot of different modalities, but I kind of call myself a therapist, and I work primarily with people on the NDIS and their families. So my specialty area is working with the family members, so the carers who take care of other people with illness, disability.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so most of the time, like my Facebook page is like I've niched down into mums who have sensitive children. So the kids who have sensory processing disorders, autism, anxiety, all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I support mum to be who she wants to be, which then kind of filters down into the kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Helping her to understand the sensitivities and how they work within the family, and also how it works within herself, right? Because we do find that most of the time, if the kids are sensitive, so is mum.
Yep. Yep.
In possibly different ways. So I support her to do what she needs to do, right? Not only understand her kids' sensitivities, but her own as well.
Yes.
And then tap into her intuition.
Yeah.
Getting to that inner wisdom place in that space where she can say, okay, I know, despite all of the noise that is coming from everybody, professionals as well as family and strangers and every man and his dog, bombards you with so much information.
Yeah.
But despite all of that information, I know that that's not going to work. Oh, that might, but that's not. And it's about filtering out all of the noise and coming back here so you can do what you need to do as a parent and know intuitively that it will work for your family.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Yeah, awesome. And so needed, because there is so much support out there, rightly so, for the kids who have the sensitivity issues and all those other things that you spoke about. But the people who take care of them,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think also
or dad.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's, it's the parents who are supporting the child through that journey. And like you said, most times I was literally having this conversation with our eldest just before I hopped online here,
Yeah.
trying to unpack some of the different things that we've navigated as a family, and that she's now working out for herself as she's older, and now that she's living independently and holding down a job and all that sort of stuff. But also it's just that about that process of self-discovery and working out what these different things meant. And we were talking literally about, a time when at one point she was in hospital for asthma and was really like, what was just like realizing now that back then there was a sensory issue that was playing up that we didn't realize even existed. And she didn't have the words to explain it. And the staff just saw it as her being naughty, because we hadn't had any of that diagnosis thing happen. So it's very, it's so important and so relevant. And I'm just really glad that there's a level of awareness happening now, and that's coming about in terms of, I heard a thing on the news yesterday about the level of, I can't remember, I can't quote, sorry, that's an alarm. I can't quote numbers, but they were talking about the incidence of, I want to say ADHD or something along those lines, and the medication doses that were being, and I'm like, yeah, how much of that is driven by the fact that we're now aware that this exists, and this is one of the ways that we can support people who are dealing with that, whether it's the kids who are dealing with it and their parents who are probably also have the same condition, but have learnt to navigate
likely have the same condition.
Yeah.
Not all of them do, but it is very likely, or something similar, something that kind of traditionally goes with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I look at my family, I'm like, yeah, then I reckon my dad right now, he's 72, if he was in school now, he would be ADHD, bang.
Yeah.
Let
me tell you, so would my brother.
Yeah. And so there's elements of that have fed through,
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think that's great that you're in that space of helping those parents to navigate it, because the more that you can help them to understand what's happening with their kids, the more you can understand. It's so easy to take that outside focus, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be able to understand what's happening with your kids, and then eventually get to the point where, that's in me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the people that you talk with, are they supported through NDIS? Do you have? Can you help people or not?
Yeah, some of them. I have been around the community services area for 15, going on 16-ish years, give or take.
Yeah.
So I was right in the middle of it when the NDIS was first rolled out in the region. So I was quite involved with everything as it started up. And even from the beginning, parents were saying things like, I don't know what's going on. There's so many unanswered questions and all that kind of stuff. And then once it actually rolled out, the biggest message that we got is, this is just not meeting my child's needs.
Yeah.
And it's not meeting my needs.
Yeah.
The biggest gap, right, is that, and I know that, like, on a logical level, I know that this is what's needed. The NDIS is there for the participant, right? So the person who needs the support, right? And I know that's necessary. Yeah. But there's nothing there for the parents or the carers in general, right? And there's this big gap, right? Because the carers are the ones on the coalface. The carers are the ones doing the tough work, right? The carers are the ones that are burnt out. And without that counselling support, therapeutic support, psychological support, they're going to fall to pieces.
Yeah.
And the NDIS have no support in there, or very little support. Like, there's a different bucket of funding for carer support.
Yep.
But it's so small.
Yeah, really.
So when you get like the families that I work with are in burnout, literally in burnout. They're about to this close to falling off the perch because of the burnout they're experiencing and have experienced because they've had to fight for so long for their kids' needs to be met.
Yeah.
Right. So this minuscule amount of funding that's available for the carers, which is 6 sessions of counselling support, it's not even going to touch the surface. Our parents, the parents that we deal with, or my friend and I deal with, they need in-depth, trauma-informed, trauma targeted, not even trauma-informed, but trauma-targeted psych support so they can heal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 6 sessions is just a Band-Aid. It's trying to put a Band-Aid on a wound that requires 50 stitches.
Yeah.
Just not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough, isn't it? Like it's one of those things where you look at, I'm grateful for the system that we have, but there are so many spaces where it could be tweaked and modified, and not to take anything away from those people who are who like the NDIS, I don't know what the actual word is, but the people who have those plans. But yeah, where are we without their carers? What happens if those carers do get burnt out to the point where they're like, hands up, I can't do this, I've got to walk away? Then what?
And that happens.
Yeah.
That is happening, right?
Yeah.
So I, like, a lot of my work, or a good portion of my work, is actually writing reports for the NDIS for the families that we work with.
Yes.
And like I'm literally saying that same thing.
Yeah.
Like my reports say it. Like I seem to have this template going through my head about the words that I use to actually get that message across.
Yeah.
If you don't fund this support,
yes,
you're not going to have a family to fund.
Yeah.
And you're going to have an individual who requires 24/7 support because they're grieving for a parent that can no longer be with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And potentially have to move them into a space where they need to have carers because they can't live independently, all those other things.
Exactly. Yeah. And that goes along with the kind of cycle that happens, right?
Yeah.
If the parents need to relinquish care because they can no longer do it, right?
Yes.
It's going to require so many extra resources that the NDS are required to fund.
Yep.
So it's 3 times the price than what implementing support in there for the parents would be.
Yes.
It's not rocket science. But they can't see it.
Because I don't know about you as a parent, but me as a parent, I'll do so much more for my kids than any paid person is ever going to do. And I think really that's it. I'm not an unusual parent in that regard. I think everybody would do the same sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So it's an interesting space. It's definitely needed with what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about what you get to do?
Oh, my favorite thing is working with parents who really get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every day I hear so many stories of heartbreak about what parents need to do and how far they need to go and the fighting that they need to go through to get their needs met. Right? And the moment when I'm in a session with somebody and I'm supporting them through that trauma and to heal from that trauma, and I can see them just like, that's it. That's what gets me. Yeah. When I see that healing taking place, and the person that's in front of me can step up and step forward and claim her space. And do it confidently with the knowledge that everything she has is right there in front of her. That's the thing that fuels me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to watch. I get a similar thing with the work that I do for different reasons. But when a woman steps into the realization of what she's capable of and what she can do, and I see this more often with women than I do with men, even though I work with both, there's just this fundamental shift in her world. And I guess, I mean, I work with women a lot more than I work with men. So it's not to say that doesn't happen with men as well, but women so often, for a number of different reasons, often a lot of stuff driven by society, will hold back on what they are capable of and where they are, and what they are capable of creating. And then to see them step into that and then like confidently walk along that path, oh my God, lights me up.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah. Now I can see, I'm just having a look at online here. There's a bunch of people who are watching. Say hello, will you? Mary Beth is over in the US and she said, g'day. And she said, that's amazing. Kudos to your work and your heart, to you, Ali. So tell me, of all the things that you get to do amongst your business, we've got the favorite thing. What's the least favorite?
Oh, fighting the system. The system is supposed to be set up to support the family, right?
Yeah.
And like they will tell you, like the NDIS system, the disability system that we have, yes, it's not perfect. And yes, it has some great things. And yes, there is some great work happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they will tell you that it's set up for the individual participant. Right. But we've got families with 3 and 4 and 5 people within the same family on that system.
Yeah.
And we've got one carer, one family member that's doing all the work.
Mm.
Yeah? And that family member is fighting it for every single one of those participants.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And that the system can't see that if they support the family holistically rather than individually, that it's keeping families together, right? It's providing an enriching, supportive space for these family members to grow and thrive, right? And yet they're making what seems to be arbitrary decisions for each individual family member. Oh, they don't need that. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And we are forever writing reports and reviews of reports and like, it's just nuts. Let's just fund them properly at the beginning, give them what they need as a family, that the professionals are writing reports to. Just read the reports.
Yeah.
There are so many people within the NDIS system who, it appears, are not actually reading the reports, or that if they are reading, they don't know how to interpret what's written.
Yeah.
Yeah. If something is written, what is the impact of that on the individual and on the family?
Yes.
It's like I do it well. Not necessarily love it, but I do it well. One of the things that I do is to actually read the OT reports and the speech reports and the physio reports and interpret those results. Yeah. What does this mean for the individual? What's the impact on the individual? What's the impact on the family? And what does that mean for mum within that cycle? Right.
Yeah.
And like I'm reading some of the justifications that the NDIS is saying about why they're making decisions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did they not actually read it?
Yeah.
It's like it's there in black and white.
Yeah.
This is what the people need.
Yeah.
And it's not an unreasonable expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just beyond my comprehension that these essential services are not being funded when the professionals are actually saying it's essential.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, to see. I mean, the NDIS system is not something I've ever worked amongst, and I think that's probably going to end up changing, because I've had so many conversations over the last few weeks about, I don't know, everywhere I turn, there's something about NDIS that keeps popping up. So I'm like, okay, maybe the universe needs me to listen here. But
yes,
one of those.
It is guaranteed.
Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah. And
knock knock.
It takes a while for me to pay attention to the universe sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing about, who can actually understand this. And like you're saying, if you've got a physio, what's happening in that process of a physio going and creating a report in amongst all the other professionals that then gets potential, I don't know how it all works, but where there's obviously a communication, that whole report to communication and then decision and implementation, there's a obviously, as you're saying, there's gaps along that process that are then meaning that the system is letting down the people who need the support, whether it's the person with the disability or the care of them. It's just, yeah. And yet you wonder, I don't know, there's a really big question in my mind in terms of how it was all set up and how it's changing and all those other things that come in and around the whole NDIS space. It's a very big and complex beast.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, I'm a very small wheel within that big and complex machine, right? But it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So Mary Beth, who's over in the US, has just written, having taken foster care courses, the reasoning behind some of the decisions are either ridiculous or not enough. It is beyond my comprehension. So obviously Australia is not unique there.
Yeah. Mary Beth, as a former foster carer, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it completely.
Yeah. So tell me something, as you're building and growing your business, what does your dream business look like?
Oh, goodness me. My dream, I would really like my soul work is actually doing the trauma-based somatic therapeutic intervention, right? Mm-hmm. Because the trauma that my families deal with literally sits in your body on a cellular level, right? It's like those everyday, you're not getting that funding, or you're not doing that right, and you're not doing blah, 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 blah. All of these outside influences, dealing with meltdowns every day,
yes,
right? Dealing with the day-to-day stuff that comes with having somebody in the family with a disability. Yes, it's stressful every day, or it can be stressful every day. And those little stresses accumulate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as they build up and up and up, it literally sits in your body, in your cells.
Yep.
Okay? And we need to provide an opportunity for the body to resolve that trauma and complete our survival process, essentially, right? So our survival system, I'm not sure how much you know about this stuff, but our survival system, whenever our life is threatened, our system has a process that it needs to follow, yeah? And when that process is completed and gets a chance to complete itself, the stuff that would ordinarily be considered traumatic is no longer trauma, because the cycle has completed itself, yeah?
Yeah.
It's only when the cycle remains incomplete that it becomes trauma.
Yeah.
And when it's incomplete, that trauma actually sits in the body, in your cells. Yeah? So my job is to support you and your body to complete that cycle of trauma. And it's a really gentle process, yeah. And it's about listening to your nervous system. It's about listening to your body signals, right? Which means that you don't need to relive it.
Yes.
And you don't need to retell it. You don't need to go through it again and again and again and again and just re-traumatize. Because it kind of defeats the purpose. It just exacerbates the whole system, right?
Yeah.
So if we can actually tune into your body and work on your body sensations on a nervous system level, we can support the body to resolve and complete that trauma process.
Yeah.
And you get relief instantly.
So how do you do that? What are the sorts of things that you like? Is that a physical therapy kind of thing? Like, is it like a sound healing, or is it simply through the conversations? How do you help people to go through that process?
It is through conversations. It's like there are lots of modalities that that do similar things, but it's not the same as what I do, right?
Yes.
We are designed to be, as you're probably aware, social creatures.
Yes.
Yeah. We are designed to connect with other people, right? And when we can connect with others, so you and I are talking, we're connecting, right? And below our conscious awareness, my nervous system is talking to your nervous system. So my body is talking to yours. Yeah. And we're conversing.
Yeah.
And when you have two people that connect and really feed off each other in a really positive way, right? That means the frequency that our bodies are vibrating at are meshed.
Yes.
Right? When you get conflict, they're not meshed, right? Different frequency. Yeah.
Yep.
That's why we like some people and don't like other people. Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that person, but I like her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, back feel like I'm rambling, but essentially, in order to move our nervous system and support it to come back into alignment, right, rather than being in that trauma space, we need to borrow from somebody else's nervous system. Right? So just like a baby, settling a baby, right?
Yep.
An infant borrows from their parents' nervous system. Children borrow from their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when the parents can be aligned and supported,
yes.
Yeah, it filters down through the nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my work supports mum and dad to come back into alignment within themselves.
Yeah.
So that they can filter that down through the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means less meltdowns, which means less all like turmoil within the family. You know what I mean? So and it really works. It really works. So my work allows my clients to borrow my calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When my nervous system is settled, and I have lots and lots of really cool, really small, simple tricks and strategies to support the nervous system to calm and come back into alignment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that that connection, that communication, then allows us to do the really deep work, which is about me taking you through a process that talks to your nervous system through your body sensations.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just like listening to what it has to say.
Yes.
Listening. Like, have you, in this kind of work, slow is actually fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you try and force the process, the nervous system will just tighten.
Yes.
And track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to create space.
Mm-hmm.
Our nervous systems respond to space. Yeah.
Mm.
And it's about just chilling out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding something that will help you to reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the nervous system feels safe to relax, that's when you get change happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the modalities that I use are all about supporting your system to feel safety.
Yes.
From the nervous system, from the body, from the core of the body, right?
Yeah.
Not from the mind. It does not happen from the mind. All the cognitive therapeutic interventions, it doesn't happen up here at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? To like
Fascinating stuff.
Pardon?
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yeah. I was talking about that this morning where when I was sharing about my history is that I've come from like a family little on the land, very patriarchal kind of systems, fairly traditional. And so when I was a kid, that whole, I wanted to be more than happy to do the work, but I also wanted the recognition for the work. And the recognition was always like by default was put onto the shoulders of the men.
Yeah.
And so I kind of drove myself to that whole masculine side of things. Well, now I've got long hair and skirts and dresses and present as feminine, much more feminine than I was always such a tomboy. And understanding this whole concept of that sometimes the most effective thing you can do is just be peaceful. And sometimes on the outside, it looks like you're doing nothing, but it's actually, all those other, like what you're talking about, all these other systems are kind of resetting so that then as you go forwards, you're far more effective than you ever have been before.
Absolutely.
So you end up being able to create more of what you truly want instead of what you've been getting.
Yes.
So, and it's an interesting process watching inside my head to actually stop long enough to allow that to happen and then move forwards,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Your mind gets very noisy sometimes, doesn't it?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
More often than not, honestly, it's not very it's very rare that's quiet in my head.
That's okay. Mine does too. And there's actually a reason for it, yeah? From a survival perspective.
Yes.
The mind's job is to look out for danger.
Yes.
So when it actually gives you, what if?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, like distracts you and like all the things, right? Mm-hmm. It's actually doing its job.
Yes.
It's doing what it was designed for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's let it know that it's okay for it to do its job.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, mind. I appreciate you supporting me like that and protecting me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rather than beating yourself up.
Mm.
Because beating yourself up kind of just like defeats the purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you'll tell your mind, but I don't need that. Yeah. But yes, you do. But why not?
Blah, 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 blah. Absolutely.
Yep.
I love what I do. Like, I really love it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
we can tell.
When we were talking before about what lights me up.
Yes.
Seeing that kind of relief and that change within your nervous system.
Yeah.
Like, that lights me up.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Crazy how much it lights me up.
Isn't it wonderful though? Like when you find what it is that, for me, similar, like I was saying before, similar, but in different context, that's the stuff that lights me up with the work that I do too. And I didn't do that for a really long time. Like I only really worked out what I was doing and why I was here beyond, like, I have always, from the moment I have any early memories of what I wanted to be as I grew up, being a mum was number one always. And I'm so incredibly grateful that that's been a part of my journey. I've got 2 kids who are phenomenal, really love that. It's been a hell of a journey, but it's, the fact that I've been able to be a mum is something that's wonderful. And then what? Oh, there's probably about 15, 20 different careers that I thought I was going to pursue. And it wasn't until I was 42 when I worked out what I want to be when I grow up, And this is, I'm doing it now. This is the work that I do. It's why I do what it's a part of who I am. And it's a part of my soul that I really kind of ignored for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see other people make that connection for themselves, I'm like, it's just, you know, it's really hard to explain, but it's incredibly wonderful to watch happen when you know that you've helped people to make that realization for themselves, that they probably would have eventually worked out event somehow, but the fact that the work with you has helped them to get there sooner and possibly ended up with a deeper understanding, you know, so that they can then action it. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a bunch of other comments in here that I kind of need to skip over. So please jump back in there. Mary Beth has been chatting a lot on here, and I so appreciate it, but I just
love it.
We'll come back to you, Mary Beth. I promise we're not ignoring that. I wanted you just very quickly before we wrap up, because we are sort of getting a bit short of time. I know you've got to get off to another meeting soon.
All right, not for another half hour.
Okay. So there's a couple of things. Is there, if people want to work with you, how do they go about that? Do you have a particular offer that you'd like to share?
In terms of just making contact with me, if people just go to my page and message me through the page, bless you.
Thank you.
It's an easy make contact just through messaging my page. So super simple. The offer that I would like to share is anybody who mentions you and your name and the chat that we're having now. I would love to offer a month-long VIP package with me, which gets you 4 sessions weekly, usually weekly, but we can adjust if we need to. Now, full price for that is usually $680. And I think from memory, when you asked me to put the offer down, I said 100, right?
I'm not sure what you popped in there. I saw an offer of the VIP group. I'm like, awesome. But if you're happy with 600, that's beautiful. That's
so I'll make, just for your audience, I will make that available for $600.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Month-long package. I do have other VIP packages, the longer packages as well. And there's certainly value in working with me longer term because you get that deeper transformation. But if you've just got something small that you need to work on, that month-long should be sufficient. If you're not sure what you need, just give me a yell and we'll have a chat.
There's so much, isn't it, that comes out of that first conversation when you have a new client come on board, you know, because I have a bunch of different packages as well, and I will literally get to the point where you like, I'm going to offer something at the end of how I can help you, but what that is will depend on what you know, where you're at. You know, it's a big thing. Depending on how much trauma people are carrying will obviously, well, I assume, determine how much time you recommend that they work with you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to do with anybody that I work with is just check in with their nervous systems to see what they need. I'm not going to work with you unless your body says that it's safe, it feels safe to do so.
Really.
One of my biggest gifts is to support people to feel safe. And if I'm not doing that with the kind of work I do, there's no point. It just defeats the purpose. And all I'm doing is re-traumatizing. So my aim is to support that safety. Because it's at the core of everything that I do. So when I begin this conversation with people, I always like to just check in with your nervous system as a potential client and say, okay, how does your body feel about that? What's the message that you're getting? Does it contract? Or does it feel a little bit spacey? And when it contracts, that's your body saying no. Right? And when you feel it relax, and you often just get this whisper in your head, yes or no as well.
Yep.
This intuitive whisper, that intuition coming through. So when we hear the yes, that's when we look at, okay, well, how long for?
Yep.
Yeah. And we just ask a series of yes, no questions, and your body will give us the answers.
Yep.
We just need to be listening for it.
Interesting.
It's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you work primarily online, in person? What's your preference?
Yeah, the vast majority of the work that I do is online.
Yep.
It's rare that I work with face-to-face, primarily because of distance.
Yes.
Most people I work with are in other states or even overseas.
Yep.
But if somebody local wants to work with me, I'm happy for them to come and visit me at home. I do have some mobility issues, so it's difficult for me to get out and about.
Yeah, right.
But I'm happy to host people here.
Nice.
But otherwise, online, I love Zoom. Zoom is my go-to.
Very useful, isn't it?
Yeah. It's one of my essential business expenses, Zoom.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we've all got plenty of those as in essential expenses to do it, help us do what we want to do as we want to do it. Oh yes, my Great Dane's decided that she needs some attention, so don't mind that in the background.
She's done very well for this whole chat. She's been very quiet, and settled, and
obviously right now.
If I was to be full of myself, I'd say that's my influence, just my calming nature.
Absolutely, quite possible, because she's particularly with that particular bed that where I was talking before about her regular bed's not in the room right now. She's done very well to sit there for that length of time. One last thing before we wrap up. Sure. What's your biggest tip that you'd like to share with people?
I actually had this ready to go before you asked me, and now I can't remember it. I think, yeah, okay, so let's go with that. One of the tips, I just blah 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 blah. What I would like to share with you is a really simple nervous system tip that will support you to settle your system.
Yeah.
Okay. Because so many people, like we do breathing exercises and all kinds of stuff, right? And often they kind of just exacerbate the issue. Yeah. When we do things like just take 3 deep breaths, we're often doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we heighten the system rather than settle it.
Yes.
Right. So what I would like to suggest to you is just to place your hand on your heart, just wherever it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And just bring your attention and your awareness to your breathing and the motion of your hand. Just feeling into your hand as it moves up and down, without any expectation that the world is going to change. We're just simply allowing your body to do what it was designed to do, and that is to breathe. Just bringing your awareness to your shoulders and allowing them to drop. Feeling the seat underneath you holding your weight. Becoming aware of your feet on the floor. And then just bringing your awareness back to your hand as it moves up and down. Rising as you breathe in. Falling as you breathe out. And just feeling your body settle. And coming back to peace. How does that feel?
That's beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Do that for a shorter time or as long a time as you need to. Yeah. Just knowing that it's always there. And the thing you focus on is just to notice. Yeah. You're not trying to change anything. You're just simply noticing.
Yeah.
That's the key. Yeah. And bringing your awareness.
Yeah. You're not giving yourself another job to do.
Yeah. Just observing, being curious.
Yes. They get Marybeth says she's ready for a sleep now.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Perfect, because it would be early bedtime over in where she is.
Love it.
Cool. Thank you so much for today. I really appreciate you jumping on with me and sharing as much as you have. And I hope that everyone who has been able to catch some of this has gotten value out of it. Please jump in, and if you've got a link to the offer or you want to share that into the comments, please do, so that other people who jump in can see that. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for the day. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I don't have a specific link for the actual offer.
That's okay.
But if people just want to message me.
Yeah. So maybe just pop that in the comments.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah, we can just have a chat. Like, I'm not about forcing somebody or like I said before, it's just about creating that sense of safety. Yeah.
Even if you've got a Calendly link or something similar so that people can book in, feel free to pop that in the chat so that people can
yes
and do that.
I can do the booking link.
Yep. Perfect. Beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Ali. And for now, it's bye from me.